everybody. Welcome to another installment of Monopoly Monday. This time we're going to look at the 50th anniversary edition of I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy started in 1951, so this set is from 2001. I am a huge I Love Lucy fan. I have the complete series on DVD. I have almost all the Mattel I Love Lucy dolls. I just don't have the Christmas Show Fred and the Christmas Show Ethel. Or the Kelly versions. I don't like those. I don't have the one that's actually Lucille Ball either because I didn't want it. I have a paper doll book of her. I have a couple of books. I've got a lamp. I've got a watch. I've got an umbrella. I've got a lot of I Love Lucy stuff. Anyway, 50th anniversary edition. Let's crack this open and take a look inside. Here's a quick overview of everything. And then we'll look at everything in more detail. Our instruction booklet tells you what's the same, what's different, and all the rules. It folds out like this. In the back, that's Fred and Ricky on the couch, and thinking, boy, that was a fun game. It's really cute. The dice are pink, pale pink with white. Here are the tokens. We have the convertibles they used to get to California. This is one of the coolest car tokens ever in a Monopoly set. It's really cute. We have Ricky's hat from his show in the Coca Cabana. The Vitamin Vegemin bottle, which is considered the best I Love Lucy episode. Ricky's conga drum. Plays Babaloo, We've got the loving cup from the episode where they went to present to the jockey. I can't remember the guy's name. She gets it stuck on her head because they're making fun of the hat she bought. So she comes into the room wearing this, and it gets stuck on her head. And then we have the wine vat from my favorite episode, Lucy's Italian Movie. So naturally, this is my favorite token. See the grapes inside. My least favorite is the conga drum. But they're all really good tokens. The convertible is really cool. Okay. For the houses, you have movie sets, which are in red. For the hotels, you have movie studios, which are white. Look at the money. The money's all the same. Different denominations, 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 500. It's just from the scene of, I think, California, Here We Come. Let's look at the chance cards. The chance cards and the Ricardos. So, got jail free. Advance to Lucy Does a TV commercial. It's a nice little solid red cards. Images from the show on there. Actually in jail, so it's kind of funny. The card is kind of interesting, the episode they chose for that. So they're traveling. Sports outing is what replaced the utilities, okay? So you know that. I love that episode. Aunt Martha's old-fashioned salad dressings. Oh, this is how you know what's a chance and what's a community chest. If you have a page player, that's a chance, okay? So that's how you can tell them apart. Because on a rare occasion, they'll actually switch the positions on the board. I think I've seen that before. Maybe in one of my sets. I can't remember. We'll find out as we go through Monopoly Monday. Okay. And then the community chest cards are the Mertzes, which are the neighbors. If you've never seen the show, if you haven't seen the show, watch the show. It's hilarious. It's pretty much the standard to which all comedy shows are judged. Go to jail. And of course, being the Merces, this has pictures of Brett and Ethel. The other ones had Lucy and Ricky. So. I'm trying to find one that's interesting. Everything's just plain Monopoly speak here. Oh, there's Fred posing for Lucy's statue when she's pregnant, trying to become an artist to make sure her child is well-rounded. I mean, really, there must not be anything that's super unique. Okay, that's those cards. So then we have the property cards. And the property cards have a faint image of the episodes they represent. Okay, so there is an image on there. This is what a railroad card looks like. The railroads are travel episodes, so episodes where they travel. Let's see, where's the other one? Well, that's it. The sports cards, the sports outing cards, which are the utilities, they also have the same setup as the others, so the picture's on top. Let's look at the board. If you notice, the board, the color back of the properties is a pale, pale pink. Okay? Got to go. I'm going to butcher this episode title. I do not speak French. Lucy is enceinte. It's when she's pregnant, and they weren't allowed to use the word pregnant, so. She finds out she's pregnant. She tries to tell Ricky. I'm going to give you a little recap of the episodes. She tries to tell Ricky over and over again, multiple times, and she keeps getting interrupted. So finally she goes to his club, requests him to sing "We're Having a Baby" to this lady who wants to tell her husband she's pregnant, and he goes to each couple, he's singing "Rock My Baby." Each person he sees, each woman, and he points to them, and they nod their head, yes, no, you know. They all say no. Then he goes, points to her. He just points to her, and she shakes her head yes. So he finds out he's the father. It's him. It's really cute. It's a good episode. As Lucy goes to the hospital, Ricky had performed that night, so he was performing a voodoo number and came in full voodoo makeup. He tried to be there when the baby was born, though. New furniture. So that's the income tax space. She gets new furniture a lot. Second honeymoon. That is, they're on their way to Europe on the boat, and she tries to have a second honeymoon there, but he's constantly busy. I don't really remember much of the plot for that one. I'm sorry. Lucy visits Grauman's. This is Lucy, and Ethel's trying to steal John Wayne's footprints as a souvenir from Grauman's Chinese Theater. Lucy gets a Paris gown. They're in France, and she wants this designer gown by this certain designer. And he had bought her a designer gown in Hollywood when they were in Hollywood. So he kept saying no, and then she went on a hunger strike, and he agreed to get her a dress, and what he did was he got some burlap, and they had this guy make these horrible looking outfits, because they thought the Paris gowns were ridiculous looking, Fred and Ricky. So they got Ethel one too, and they had feed buckets on their head. Well, then the girls find out and they're horrified, and then later they're all sitting in the cafe, and the designer actually copied the designs and really made them into dresses, so it's pretty funny. Lucy's Italian Movie is my favorite episode. That is when they're in Italy, and she gets discovered on a train by this guy who wants her to play an American tourist in his movie called Grappolo Fuggente or something like that. It means bitter grapes. So she assumes about the winemaking industry, and she goes to soak up local color, and she gets in a fight in the wine vat with this woman, turns her purple and blue, so they don't let her do the part, and Ethel gets the part. That's the jail. Okay. Lucy and Superman, Little Ricky, and I think Carolyn Appleby's son were born around the same time, and they both want to have the party on the same day. Little Ricky wants Superman to come visit, to be at his party, because Superman's actually in town doing some press. And Lucy promises Superman to come, but he can't make it, so she dresses up as Superman, and really the guy ends up showing up, but it's pretty cute. Lucy and Bob Hope, that is, let's do a baseball. Darn, what in the world was the plot of that one? I can't remember the plot. Yeah, Bob Hope's there, and Bob Hope's great. Harpo Marx, love this episode too. This is in Hollywood, and Carolyn Appleby's visiting them in Hollywood. She's on some kind of vacation with her husband. And they've been writing about all these celebrities, Lucy and Ethel. They've been writing about all the celebrities they've met. And they misplaced Carolyn's glasses so she can't see. And they have Lucy dress up as these celebrities. She dressed up as Harpo Marx at one point. Unbeknownst to her, Ricky meets Harpo Marx and convinces him to come upstairs. And there's this really great comedic scene between the two where they're being mirror images of each other. It's hilarious. Lucy is envious. Lucy and Ethel have to get some money for something. I can't remember what. So they get hired to play aliens as a promotion for some movie, but they have to really pretend to be aliens. That's what they are right there. Bon Voyage, that is when the group's going to Europe, and Lucy misses the boat because she goes back to say goodbye to her little Ricky. So she has to go get onto a helicopter, and it drops her onto the ship. That's her being dropped to the ship. The audition, awesome episode. Love this episode. Lucy wants to be part of the show, and she ends up as this comedic person. I think she replaces somebody. But she does this great, great comedic role, this great scene, and it's her as the professor, and she's got this big cello, and she puts the plunger in there to keep it steady because it keeps falling. She acts as a seal at the end. It's just hilarious. One of my favorites. Sorry, my nose is killing me for allergy season. Lucy gets in pictures. She finally gets a role in a Hollywood movie as a showgirl while they're in Hollywood, and she has this huge headdress, which you can see the headdress, but she really cannot wear it. It's too heavy for her, and they go to replace her, and she keeps getting in the way, so they end up making her dead, and she has a sheet over her so you can't see her face. She writes her name on her shoe. It's pretty funny. The ballet, I have issues with this picture. I have issues with the Mattel Olive Lucy doll and the ornament that Hallmark did, as well as Carlton cards. Everybody focuses on the ballet part of the ballet. My favorite is her being the burlesque comic. So what happens is Ricky needs he's a replacement ballerina, and he needs burlesque comedy team. So Lucy trains to be the ballerina, and she trains to do the burlesque comic because the ballerina spot gets filled. So she trains to be the burlesque comic, and then Ethel says, "Oh, you need to come down here." You know, she finds out she still can't be in the show because the burlesque comics get filled too. And Ethel calls her and says, "Oh, he really needs you. You know the routine." And she comes down there in her burlesque comedy outfit, and it's really ballet routine, and it's just a hilarious episode. It's hard to describe. There's the free parking. Slowly I turn, step by step, inch by inch. That's what I remember from that episode the most. Anyway, the operetta. Lucy writes an operetta. In the operetta, they come there. She does it for the women's club, so they need to raise some money. And she post-dated a check, I believe. And, or it bounced. I can't remember. So they come and start taking the scenery from it. She's the little witch in the operetta. Ethel's the princess because Ethel sings better. Yeah. Lucy raises chickens. It's probably the best of the Connecticut episodes. I'm not a big fan of the Connecticut episodes. But she decides to be a chicken farmer, so gets all these little chicks, and they get lost, and they're just cute. $1 million idea. Again, I apologize for my nose. It's really bad today for my allergies. And this is, Lucy makes this really good salad dressing, so they decide to go on, they buy some television time and promote it. And Aunt Martha's old-fashioned salad dressing, and they end up getting a lot of requests for it, and the price is really cheap, so Ricky figures out they're actually losing money on each jar, so she goes back on air with Ethel and tries to dissuade people from buying it, saying it's horrible. And people order even more of it because they think that their routine was hilarious, blah, blah, blah. So they end up buying a bunch of salad dressing from the store and just changing the labels, which is highly illegal. I'm not sure how illegal it was back then, but it's very illegal to do that now. Okay, then California, here we come. That's when they get the new car and they go to California, drive to California. They set out to California. They have a lot of crazy antics in the episodes after that. But Pioneer Woman, another favorite. This is when they have this bet. Lucy and Ethel want a dishwasher. They each want a dishwasher. They're trying to be in this matron league society, fancy schmancy club for women, but they have a bet with the men that they can pick a year. They pick some, like 1900. 1900 is the year they pick, and they're not allowed to use anything after that. They end up having to concede to let them use the stove because Lucy was about to light the actual stove on fire to cook. That wouldn't have worked for that particular stove, but that was the thing they made the difference for. And she bakes bread. She puts in way too much yeast. It's just funny. And then these ladies show up, and they don't like that they're actors. And then Lucy and Ethel refuse to join the club. It's good. Off to Florida is Lucy and Ethel have to get to Florida to meet Fred, Ricky, and little Ricky. And they misplace their bus tickets. I think it's a bus ticket they had, or a train, one or the other. They end up hitchhiking. They think that the woman they're hitchhiking with is a serial killer, or it's just this crime lady. She's not, and she ends up thinking they are some convicts as well. But so the tickets were actually little Ricky's. What a wallet? What was it? He put them in his stuff because he had heard they had to stay somewhere important, and then Fred and Ricky find out, and it's just funny. The golf game is Lucy wants to spend more time with her husband, Ricky, so he and Fred take Lucy and Ethel golfing, and they make up these crazy hard rules for golf that is made to discourage them. Well, while Fred and Ricky go do something, this real professional golfer at the time, don't know his name, can't remember, comes up and they tell him, oh, you're doing it wrong. And he finally tells them, like, no, this is not how you play golf. And then they get him to go along with the stupid rules. It's just funny. Ethel's birthday. They get in an argument. I really can't remember this episode off the top of my head. I know they get into an argument and have a fight, and then they're making up in that picture. I can't remember. The freezer. Lucy wants to get a big home freezer to save on money because to buy meat in bulk. She buys the meat, and I think she's buying a side of pork, like the size of a side of pork. She buys a side of beef, and the cow's way bigger. It's a lot of meat. She ends up selling some at the butcher, taking away some of his customers, and that's just funny. That's a funny, funny scene. And she ends up getting locked in the freezer. It's just great. Bonus bucks. There was this thing where in the paper, the serial number of the bills matched the serial number printed in the paper. You won money. So the money was in the laundry. I think it's Ricky's robe. And they had to go to the little like dry cleaners. And she goes through the dry cleaners trying to find that bill. L.A. at last, that's when they get to L.A. and she embarrasses herself in front of Bill Holden at a restaurant, and then Ricky invites him over. She's trying to disguise herself so he doesn't recognize her. She's got this fake nose that she's like put some putty on there, and she lights her cigarette. Don't smoke, people. It's bad for you. Anyway, it lights up the end of her nose. Return home from Europe. They're flying back from Europe. She buys this cheese for her mother, but it's going to cost her a lot of money to take it on the plane. So she disguises a baby because she thinks babies fly for free. they don't fly international for free. When she's told that, she actually goes, she and Ethel eat the cheese, try to eat the cheese. And they stick some of it into Ricky's band instruments. So this lady on the plane just goes berserk. She thinks something's happened to this baby. And it's just funny. Here are the two big ones, the number 1, number 2 episode. Number 2 episode of all time in terms of fan ranking is Job Switching. It's the classic one. Fred and Ricky are the homemakers. Lucy and Ethel go to work at a chocolate factory, and the chocolate factory scene is the most memorable. But my favorite part of the episode is Fred and Ricky in the kitchen when Ricky's fixing the rice and the chicken. The pressure cooker, the chicken shoots up to the ceiling, and the rice overflows into the floor. And it's just, if you watch that scene, Desi Arnaz's comedic timing was just amazing. And same with Lucille Ball. They both were just phenomenal actors. Really good at what they did. It's just hilarious. That scene doesn't get as much credit as it should. I'm just saying. Night at the Tropicana is to have luxury tax. You pay $75. Why did I say Copacabana before? I meant Tropicana. Oh my goodness, Copacabana is part of a song. Wow, Tropicana was the nightclub he worked at initially. Okay, Lucy does a TV commercial. That's the classic one, the Vitamin and Vegemite one. She gets hired to do a television commercial for Vitamin and Vegemite, which has a lot of alcohol in it. So when she's rehearsing it, it's got this very long speech she has to give. And it's a very hard speech. So as she gets more and more drunk from drinking this medicine, she ends up botching the words. It's just hilarious to watch. Again, the comedic timing. This show was so good at that. They had just the best people working on it. It's just amazing. And like I said, it's a standard. If you've never seen I Love Lucy, you need to watch I Love Lucy. It's so amazing. This is the center board. This is a colorized version of California Here We Come. It's where you put your cards for the Ricardos and the Mertzes. And this has been an extremely long video because I explained each episode. I love this show. I thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe.